Thank you very much. Oh, I have this. Thank you. Now it's okay. Now I have to move it. A round of applause to all the inspiring lecturers that were before me, because this guy is like J.K. Rowling. This guy, Obama worked for him, and she's the new Nutella. So it's going to be very disappointing for me to tell you about the failure that is still continuing, and which is my comedy career. But it's fun. I'll tell you a little bit about me. This is Last Comic Standing. Do you know the show Last Comic Standing? It ran for like 9 seasons on NBC. I think it recently got off the air. It's a showcase where all the comedians are competing against themselves, and the ones who is actually winning gets a special and a lot of money, and is not here. So let's talk about, I know that this is a very good wine, by the way, my kids fall asleep very fast with this one. And I'll tell you a little bit about background. I've been doing comedy for 20 years, and I'll tell you a little bit by background in 2008. 2008, it was like January 2008. I just got married a few weeks before. And I had a radio show on with Shachar Kasson and Amiram Tovim and Berlad and Adam Sharon, very successful radio show. And I've been performing stand-up for 10 years, and it's been a lot of fun. This is some pictures of the radio show. It's beginning of, and I've been on television, and I've been working a little bit in English. It was a lot of fun to see that, you can actually communicate on a different audience. And then, in 2008, after 3 years of stop, Last Comic Standing came back. And when it came back, there was an international episode. Every year they go to comedy clubs in London or in Toronto, and they get comedians from there. But this year they chose, let's bring them here from around the world. So they invited 65 comedians, mostly from South Africa, London, England, Australia, the English-speaking countries. And also, let's invite some buffoons to try to tell their stories in a different language that they don't understand. And so we were supposed to fly to Miami, and in Miami the auditions were in a comedy club, and it was the show. So 65 comedians from around the world, they called me up. Yossi Tarablus, I know a little bit, I know a few comedians from around the world, and everybody connected me to the producer, and she said, okay, I would like to invite you to be a comedian in Last Comic Standing. We're going to fly you to Miami. It's a 5-star hotel, 4 days. Do you want to, are you interested? And I was like, Mom, stop. And, no, my mom doesn't speak English. So I said, great, why not? And for those of you who don't know the show, this was like the biggest, one after the biggest season, okay? Really a good season, so this is how, big it was then. 2008, the
last of our auditions, and you will find out who will perform on this stage.
Yes, I like the suit, by the way. This is Bill Bellamy, he was the host of the show.
The last comic standing.
Yes, thank you very much. This was not where I performed, and thank you. I'll get off the stage. Thank you. He's too handsome. I don't like it, and he has hair. I don't like it too. Okay, and so now the problem is I didn't have visa. Small problem. You see, you're an American. You have no problem. I had the problem because I had a visa, but it was 2 months before it was expired. So I went to the embassy, and I called the embassy, and she said, yes, you have to come to the embassy. So I asked the embassy, like a Pitusia, I asked embassy, I told NBC I need a letter, and they FedEx me a letter signed, and that Yossi Tarablus to the embassy is now going to represent Israel. Thank you very much for the burden. I was supposed to go to Miami, now I'm representing Israel in an international competition. I was like, okay, this is starting to be a little bit stressful, and So I went to the embassy, and the consulate in the embassy was like I think she was at least, I'm not exaggerating, 150, something like that. She was old and mean. And she was like she took pressure to sign the not approved. It's like she enjoyed it. It was like their gym to do that. Oh my God, not approved. And I was like, that's it, my dream is gone. No way, I'm going, okay? So, and I was next in line with the letter from the NBC, and NBC Universal, the logo with the peacock, everything, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to go, everything is good, and that's it, go home. And she got up, and she took a break. And instead of her replacing her, was a 35-year-old guy, very nice, American, you know, very handsome, and he's like, yeah, of course, I know the show, I love it. I'll put you in the diplomatic route. Come back tomorrow morning, your visa will be ready at 6 a.m. It's like, dude, I'm a comedian, I don't wake up at 6 a.m., fuck you. And so I came back the next day, and I had my visa. A day. It took me a day, and I was like, okay, this is going to happen. Okay, things are going to shape up. Okay, I'm going to be a star. I'm out of here, bitches. Okay, and but the thing that was in my head all the time is that what jokes am I going to tell? What jokes am I going to tell? What is my opening joke? What is the joke that will make me memorable? And that's the way to think about it when you're approaching the where you don't know where to go. So it was out in the press, and I got a little bit of heat because of, I was representing Israel, and it was, I was like, yeah, I'm representing Israel. And, but I didn't enjoy it because I was too stressed with what will I say. And I knew that the joke were probably, about my situation right now because I just got married, so it's going to be about either marriage or dating, or how it was before marriage, how it was now. And I knew that it has to be clean, has to be very, very clean. And I knew that it has to be working, because I don't want to try new jokes on them, because it's the NBC, of course. I don't want to try new jokes. And so I did what I thought was very smart. I analyzed the situation, which is always good for comedy, total analysis. And so I knew I was in Miami, I was in the United States, I knew I had to stand out, and knew that there were no audience, only judges, 2 people in the audience, and that's very important because you can't expect 2 people to laugh in a comedy club which is like big as this room. 2 people, okay? And then I knew that these guys were veterans of comedy because they were going to be, TV stars. And then I was analyzing what about me, about Israel. I knew that it has to be something that is common knowledge. It has to be something that, no Jews versus Arabs kind of, conflict type of jokes. No Judaism, and of course, no black humor. And the most important thing, don't mention the war. So no Holocaust jokes, no Germans, no nothing, okay? It has to be very clean. Yeah, so what I was thinking about is, what is commonly done by Israelis in the United States? What do Israelis do in the States? Agalot. And what do they sell in Agalot? Dead Sea Cosmetics. So that was my eureka moment. That's where I said, okay, this is my joke. About Israelis selling Dead Sea Cosmetics. Because then, Dead Sea Cosmetics, you see, she doesn't understand, okay? Yeah, I know, that's what I was, unaware of. Remember the auditions went through 3 stages, okay? First audition was, 65 comedians from all over the world came. First audition, half of them gone. The audition was not even filmed. It was the producer. I had to perform in front of one woman, and she was like, basically checking if I understand English, and that's, and half of them didn't well, probably. And no, it was actually a very put confidence in me because I passed. 35 people didn't pass, and I was with 2 other Israelis there. I was with Doron Ravitz, he's the brother of Nati Ravitz, a very talented comedian, and Lior Shem Tov, which I vouched for. I told him, come with us. I want you to come with us to be a performer because he's a prop comic, and he was just last year on America Got Talent. the Israeli in America, that is super funny, really. I will kick your ass 5 minutes, okay? Thank you, dear. And so he went with us, came with us. And so he passed the audition, and I passed the audition. And the second audition was in front of two judges that were characters on 30 Rock. You remember the show of 30 Rock? 30 Rock, with the Tina Fey. So they were characters on that show. They were writers, okay? So, and then if I pass that, I will go to the live show, the improv, 250 people, the improv in Miami, amazing. So these were the characters from 30 Rock. They were the judges, and I understood immediately that for these guys, it was like miluim. They had to do it. They didn't want to be there. It was miserable, okay? They picked like the worst, it's a really good show, but none of the main characters wanted to go to Miami to see a bunch of English comedians. So they picked, they tell you go to Miami. If not, you're going to be out of the business. And as you can see, they're out of the business. And then I was with my joke. The joke that I wanted to tell was this. I was so confident of my joke. I was like, this is the opening joke. I know exactly what I'm going to tell later. But the joke was, I'm Yossi, and I'm probably the only Israeli and I'm the only Israeli here that won't sell you any Dead Sea cosmetics. In my mind, I was funny. And I told that to my Israeli friends, and my Israeli friends said, oh, that's a good joke. And I told it to two British comedians that I met there, and they were like, why do they sell cosmetics? And I was like, yeah, because that's what the Israelis do in the States. But you're not American, you don't understand it. Another red flag I ignored. So I went there, and I got on, and the guy before me was British, and he was really, he was playing a character, and he was like, and he was like, thank you very much, and I was next, and it's like, next, Yossi Tarablus? It's like, yes, yeah. I was like, very excited, as you will see in a moment. And they called me, and I did my joke, the same reaction also. And I did my other jokes, and some of them were working, and some of them were not. And I failed. I didn't pass, and no, not yet. I failed. I didn't pass. I knew it was okay. It wasn't probably, I wasn't good enough. And my friend Leoz was after me, and Leoz was really good. And the judges were laughing, and the camera people were laughing, but it was awkward. And they said, no, you're not for, thank you very much, not for us. And he started arguing with them. With really bad English. And I was sitting in the back, like, what are he doing? He's like, why are you not passing me? He left, cameraman laughed. It's funny jokes. And I was cracking up because I knew that's it. I can go to the beach, that's it. The contest is over. And he was like, actually, he's right, And it's like, but we cannot pass you. It's like, why not gonna pass me? You laugh here now, he laughs. Okay, even the control laughs. And he said, okay, you're passed. NBC! Haggling like Fuckup pishpishim. And I said, you know what? I didn't pass. And because he passed to the night show, he had to sign a really thick papers because they needed to work on his visa in the case that he will move on to the Las Vegas event, and he had to sign releases. 2 minutes, thank you. And he had to sign releases, and I said, you know what? I'll do everything for you. You concentrate on the show tonight. Concentrate on the show tonight. I will fill the forms. I will not go to the beach. I will be with you. Concentrate on the act. Concentrate on those 5 minutes. It's the most important 5 minutes of your life. Destroy. He did it. He went to the improv that night, and he demolished. It was amazing, and I was so proud of him. And he went up to Las Vegas to the semifinals, and it was. And I know I failed, but he got it. And he also was representing Israel. And he was dumber than me. And I love him, and he's a good friend of mine still today, and that's the moral of my story, that even if you fail, help your mates. It's very important. Be a mensch, okay? And do your homework very good. Do your homework. If people say, yeah, it's very funny, and they don't laugh, it's not funny. Do your homework. So the months passed, and I had a lot of fun, and I met a lot of comedians there, and I met, this is a part of, this is the audition, this is what not NBC shot this, I did, and this is the Yossi story, and these are like all comedians from around the world. Some of them are very famous now, some of them are not, but that was an experience I will never forget. I made one of the best things about comedy and about meeting other comedians from around the world, everything is the same all over the world. People are stealing jokes, people are, not ignoring the time, and that's the fun part, because you're in the same trenches and everybody gives you respect. It doesn't matter if you're a famous comedian or you're not a famous comedian, everybody gives each other respect, and that's the best thing about comedy, and that's the moral story. So I was waiting, and the show aired on June 22nd, 2008. And I was asking, I emailed the producer and said, am I on the show? And she said, yes, you're on the show. ... And I'll show you why she put the ...
A little lost in translation on that one.
Maybe next time. The comedy sometimes doesn't translate well across the pond, so I think the comedians need to be wary of making references that Americans might not get or find funny.
Watch out! America is dangerous. Everybody has a gun.
I
That is not fair. That is wrong.
don't think it works.
Yeah.
The devil comes in many forms, and I thought, yeah, but so do potatoes.
What do you think, Keith?
No.
As I see here in Miami, I'm probably the only guy from my country that doesn't sell any Dead Sea cosmetics.
You know how hard stand-up can be. They know that.
Two things before I go. You saw the face, and he was deterring from the joke. It's an intercut, he didn't do it with my show. And if you're gonna fail, make sure you fail in front of 30 million people. Thank you very much. Questions? Okay, questions.
There you go. Thank you very much. I love Last Comic Standing.
I loved it too, until...
Until you fucked up, yeah. So my question is, like, as a stand-up comedian,
Mhm.
you fail immediately when your joke isn't funny and nobody laughs. So it's immediate response to understanding if it worked well or not. And if that happens over and over, how have you dealt sometimes, like, with continuing to go back on stage and working on it, even though you might be failing a lot?
I don't understand the question. I never failed.
Should I say it in the
I know,
Israeli
okay.
accent?
When you know the path that you want to go, the bumps on the head, the bumps on the road are important to look out for, but they shouldn't stray you from your path. Because I failed shows, and there were shows that I wanted to kill myself after them. But the only thing that made me believe that I'm doing it and I'm doing it well is the show the next day. Because, you cannot, when you do comedy for a long time, and I do comedy for 20 years, you don't enjoy the shows that you destroy, but you take into your heart the shows that you bomb. And that's a very dangerous place to be, because most of the time you do well, but you don't enjoy it because you're used to it. And I'm not bragging, but that's what happens, because when you're working enough and you know that everything is good, you're like, okay, everything is good. But when everything is bad, one time it's the worst, and you're alone, and that's the thing.
Very good.
So do
I
it.
like that.
Get back on the bike. That's if you fail, get back on the bike.
We have time for one question for Yossi. Yes, all the way in the back.
One. The other guys at three. What's the one?
You talked for a really long time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of your comedy when you did it at IDC.
Thank you very much.
But I just want to ask, how do you see a whole show? Do you look at every joke separately, like every small fail? Or do you look at the whole night? It's like a big fail, like some jokes succeed, some jokes fail. So
If something works, everything works. If something fails, everything fails. In comedy, there is no, there's like, maybe one joke didn't work from the 90 that you do. You can understand, maybe there's like a stuff. But, in general, if nothing works, nothing works.
That was so profound. Yeah.
Thank you. I need that in the shirt, okay? Fuckup night, if nothing works, nothing works, okay? Okay. Another question, yes.
Thank you very much, Yossi.
Thank you.